Alright, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. The technical difficulties have been resolved. We see a ward battle here between ZZ and Shrooms or wards, which ZZ will be able to clear out and get a ward up for his mid. Sejuani is looking to head back into her jungle here. I don't think that either team will be looking for early drags. Sejuani is not a champion that really does early dragon very well. Maybe after Cinderhole, but she's not a solo dragon champ the way that, say, Warwick or Xin Zhao is, where you really got to keep it warded to make sure they're not doing it. It will be a first Cloud Drake, which I think favors role swap, just because with the Rakan quickness and the Slicing Maelstrom and the Glacial Prison, they have a lot of like big team fight ultimates, and having them up more often is really valuable.
You do see like a good trade coming down from bot side, and you see Bobby just going straight for that dragon. Just going right for it, but she knows that both lanes are pushed up, so she's really just gonna double down and try and see about getting a invade onto the jungler there, or potentially just heavy deep wards.
If she waits around here, Sejuani is coming for the Grom. That's weird. It looks like Sejuani did Wolf to Raptors back to Grom. I don't know if she was concerned about health, wanted a level, but usually you want to try to stick to one side of the jungle as much as possible just for efficiency. The blue buff is coming up on the side of, role swap. Given that Riven doesn't need mana, I wouldn't be surprised to see Sejuani take it. Taking your third buff or the second spawn of whatever buff you started on as a jungler will usually give you level 6 unless you've lost like a number of camps or not gotten one of the scuttles. So I think, yeah, with the amount of experience he has, ZZ should become 6 office, which will give him a window to try to invade a lane, but this should be an easy dragon actually for the side of Kumquats.
Yeah, they push down both lanes there and really just gonna double down on the dragon. Then you'll see first backs coming out from a lot of the laners here. What are your predictions on itemization?
So, I don't know COG's itemization very well. I believe it's Bork first, mostly for sustain. Yeah, Bilgewater Cutlass, it will be, I would assume, it could be a Hextech Gunblade, but I guess if you Blade of the Ruined King first, Blade of the Ruined King also for the Renekton, that's basically standard at this point. Looking like Proto Belt on the side of the Silas, another core item. This all seems pretty standard. The Revolver on Revo Demise, I think, is interesting. Not because it's a bad item for Kennen, but because it can go one of two ways. Hextech Gunblade Kennen is more of a split pusher / laner with lane sustain, whereas Hextech Proto Belt is a better team fight because the Proto Belt dash gives them another way to get into a fight without having to use his flash or flash down.
You do see an engage going in on mid lane here. The Renekton going in with his slice, and then he picks up a turret and turret aggro, and he actually gets two turret aggros going onto him, and he has to blow his flash because the Riven has their ult up and is ready just to execute him.
And that is one issue there. Roscoe's TP has given him good lane pressure, but not having the ignite, which Macnoon's Sun does pose a problem in all-ins, particularly because since he's building Bilgewater Cutlass,
here comes the Sejuani gank there into a great ultimate onto the Renekton. They do pick him up. The kill is going over to the side of Sejuani there. Great engage. Her just ganks have been incredible. Even from the first game, you could see how well she's been really been focusing heavily closer to mid and bot, but every engage that she has usually connects.
Yeah, and ZZ is very good with the Glacial Prison, knows exactly when to try to go for the full CC chain where you hit the Frostbite stun and then you ult, or when just to pull the trigger and ult wrong. And there he's like, look, the Renekton's pretty low, I just need to ult. Roscoe does a really good job getting the press the attack proc off onto Riven and almost trades it back. But the shield from, I believe it's called Valor? Yes, Riven's E does mean that Macnoon's Sun survives, gets an assist, and will now have 20% CDR as opposed to 10. But Shrooms Are Wars does pick up the Rift Herald, so this time the early objective control is much more in favor of Ravenous Kumquats. They're looking at mid, Meg Average and Revo Demise have kind of been sitting in top lane farming. Neither one is really...
Oh, we do see an engaged bot side here. The Anami ultimate going down, slowing down the Rakan with his ultimate as well, but it's not going to be enough to really stop the Xayah from going in onto Kog'Maw. She did get exhausted there, and the Rakan is still going to be engaging. And then you see another engaged top side here with a good steal from Sylas, picking up the Kennen. Now the back to bot side, we're going to see that the Poppy came down to re-engage onto the Xayah, and they pick up a kill on her as well.
And notably, there was also a gank in mid lane where they caught CCK Roscoe in the river and got that kill. So there's fighting in all three lanes. The Rift Herald going down in bot will get a number of plays, but I don't think it'll get the tower. Roscoe does TP to mid to save that tower as well.
Yeah, all around the map, but great, just overall, just engage after engage, after fight after fight.
So this is a really even game state right now. It is about a 300 gold lead for the side of Ravenous Kumquats, but gold leads that small don't really mean anything because divided by 5 people, it's 60 gold each. Like, it's an extra potion. Itemization is basically the same. The only real advantage right now is the Cloud Drake on the side of Ravenous Kumquats, but if Rollswap can pick up this Earth Drag that will come up second, I think that will even things out, and this is a pretty valuable dragon for both teams. So, okay, so Poppy did go Cinderbolt, but you have a lot of frontline champs and pseudo-frontline champs. Frontliners, I'd say Sejuani, Poppy, Renekton, and then pseudo-frontliners, Sylas, Kennen, Riven, and Rakan. They're not really tanks, but they're champs that have to be in the front line to do their job. And all of those champions benefit from the extra resist. Rakan's building resist, probably for a Zeke's Harbinger would be my guess. And so all of these champions will get a good amount of resist out of it. The dragon is spawning in now. The control of the river...
You see an engage from Riven going onto the Renekton here. Getting some nice damage out. She does have ultimate, does take out the Renekton. And now you see Ravenous Kumquats really trying just to get vision control on to the dragon, but here comes Kennen. He is going to be dashing in with his E, with his ultimate. Then the Nami ult comes out, reenact, just stopping them in their path there. But here comes the Sejuani ult there, picking up the Kog'Maw. That's going to be a huge win on the side of Rollswap. They're going to be looking for dragon.
Yeah, they and that's again the ignite power from Macnu's Sun. The issue with the Bork build on Renekton or any most other champions. Oh, the Poppy ult's going to be off the mark, so this dragon will belong to Rollswap, is that you're really dependent on healing. Bork gives you no defense, it doesn't give you any health, it exists. It's entirely based around the idea that I will out-heal your damage with the lifesteal that Bork gives me, and that requires you to not be under grievous wounds and to not be CC'd. Riven does have a short stun and a knockup, and critically Macnu's Sun has Ignite. So that cuts the healing from Roscoe by 40%, and means that he's not able to out-heal Riven's damage. And Macnu's Sun gets a solo kill in the lane, and should now be feeling pretty good from that early first blood. He's got a death stance. He's gonna say, all right, you're building healing, but I now have a ton of healing, so I can play that game too.
Yeah, after seeing that last fight there, Phoenix, what is the game plan on both sides here? What do they want to do? What do they want to change up to really, or not change up, but also utilize to make them stronger into the later stages of this game?
I think for Rollswap, it's get back to and run back what won you game 1, which is team fighting and CC layering. It seemed a bit iffy at first because Riven was behind, but your jungle and bot are both ahead. Riven has now caught up. Kennen is 0-1, but he's got an assist and he's down 7 CS to make average. Like, Kennen's fine. He's not being pressured. He's not, losing lane. And he did go protocol, so he's just going to be a team fighter and do some good damage to CC later on. I think for the side of Ravenous Kumquats, you need to get bot or mid ahead. They've now swapped back, but Roscoe is behind on Renekton, a champion who really needs to be ahead because he falls off.
You see a great just skirmish in from both sides of mid lane there. But the Sylas heal is pretty powerful. We do see a Rakan engage bot side there into the Sejuani Q, E, and W combo there. They're going to try and check down the Kog'Maw, getting a nice ultimate down on him. You do see the Xayah doing great chip damage. Going into turret dive goes Sejuani. The Raven is here as well. Rakan's going to be fighting off. And here comes Riven, just going to be picking up the kill onto Kog'Maw.
Oh, no.
No, not enough damage from the Kog'Maw to really pick off the Rakan there.
Yeah, he stopwatches the Kog'Maw explosion. Very well played by Multitasker. And that was the second point is, your bot lane's behind, and Kog'Maw's really your carry here. Renekton falls off. Sylas falls off unless he's really fed. He's strong, but not that fed at this point. Like, your hopes for late game are Istariel's Kog'Maw. You need to be ganking Kog'Maw, particularly because Poppy's very good at stopping Rakan engages. If Rakan gets CC'd during his W grand entrance, he doesn't even get the knockup. And Poppy W will stop the grand entrance. So Poppy's very good at stopping Rakan's engage or preventing Rakan from getting out. Rakan relies on Battle Dance to get out after he goes in, and that is a dash. So what I'd like to Poppy do, it's probably a little late at this point, but try to counter an engage once the Rakan goes in. But you need to do something to get some items onto this Kog'Maw and to get him ahead, because you need him to be the late game carry right now.
You do see a engage going down on top side there. Just a nice cleanup, but you do see a reaction to this as well with the Rakan going on to the Nami, the Xayah as well. There's going to be some nice shift damage. Double kill going off to Xayah, picking off the Kog'Maw as well. You really see role swapped, actually just picking up where they can, getting those extra kills, and really just taking their advantages like that and taking hurts, taking money, and getting their lead slowly snowballing back into what we saw the first game.
About 2.5, 2.8k now. And to be honest, Tarkata didn't need to fight for that ward. Like, you know the ward's there, but you see the instant Tarkata goes down, they immediately...
Whoa, there it goes. Right there, I just want to talk about that real quick there. Sylas did take the Sejuani ultimate, stunning the Riven as she had turret aggro, getting those couple extra procs onto her, getting that early health advantage, and then just going all in onto the Riven, taking her out. That was a good win and good call by the Sylas there.
Yeah, and those are really the strong points for Ravenous Kumquats here. You've got a 3-0 Poppy, you've got a 2-0 Sylas. Those are your power points, and those need to be the champions that are going to win these. Dragon is spawning. Riven is about to come up, but doesn't have TP. So I'd like to see Ravenous Kumquats initiate a fight right now before Riven can get here and use her damage.
You do see Roll Swap just might actually just give this up. They do have the Shelly on Sejuani. They're just going to go mid and drop that, I think. Trade that for the Dragon. But we're going to see probably like a big team fight here, actually. You do see ultimate coming down from Sejuani onto the Renekton. Nami ulti going out. There goes Rakan. A massive three-person taunt there. We do see more damage on the side with Riven and Kennen on the sidelines there. The Rakan and Xayah are going to be picking off this Sylas. And I believe that'll be the end of that. No! They are going to be trying to do more. They're going to try and push down, possibly to get to open up this base.
Yeah, some of the carries are pretty low on the side of roll swapped. They're going to ult the wave away, so that'll buy them a little bit of time. And it looks like roll swap are going to go top lane, pick up that top tier 1 turret. It's quite low, and that's just a little bit of free gold they can easily grab. Yeah, so Roscoe gets hit by the CC chain, but his ult gives him enough health to survive for a while, and Meg Average steals the Rakan and uses it to go into the back line, gets a shutdown on Sejuani, which is good, but he's then just focused down by the remainder of roll swap. He does a lot of damage, but it's not quite enough. So it's not a terrible fight for Ravenous Kumquats. You do lose 2 towers, but getting a shutdown kill is good, and you did get the dragon. So I think at this point, Ravenous Kumquats' plan is play for Ocean Soul and try to always get the dragons, even if it means maybe trading Baron, because even though Cog's behind, if you can get him an Infernal Drag, his scaling will be super strong. And it'll make the damage from Silas and Renekton strong as well, so they won't fall off quite as hard. So I think your goal now, if you're Ravenous Kumquats, is how do we make sure we get Dragon? And how do we make sure we get Dragon Soul?
It looks like you just see the Kog'Maw and Nami doubling down on trying to just get extra money around the map here. They're going to probably take down this top turret. I don't think the cannon can really stop them from this. No, so the top turret does go down, and they're going to try and get out with their lives. You do see Xayah and Rakan slowly creeping up on them, but you also see the Poppy as well, just reinforcing the safety of Kog'Maw.
Yeah, Kog'Maw's got 750 gold in his pocket. He needs a lot more money if he wants to get what I would assume would be Guinsoo's Rage Blade next. It could also be Runan's Hurricane, though I think most Kog'Maws build that later in the build.
And you can see like the late game Kog'Maw can be devastating if not handled. So you might see just Rollsalt really just doubling down on these team fights and looking to possibly end the game here. You do see an engage onto Silas into a double charm onto Poppy and onto Silas from Rakan. The Silas does take the Sejuani ultimate, does put it right onto Kennen, stopping his ultimate, but does get the stun off. But then you see the re-engage from the Riven coming in, taking out the enemy team. They're going on for more. They are going to trap the Poppy here. She is going to fall. They're probably going to be looking to crack open the base now.
Yeah, it starts as a decent trade, but then Revo Demise comes in with the Kenninol, and it forces them back into the channel. I don't know if Astariel got separated or if Riven got on the flank, but Riven does pick up the kill there, and Meg Average gets focused down after trading for the Kennen, and so it is a 4-for-1. Astariel has just withdrawn now. So they're going to get the inhib, and that is a huge fight for Ravenous Kumquats because now they can go to for roll swap, because now they can go to Baron, and the pressure of having a downed inhib, particularly if they wait for the supers to get in, means that it's going to be hard for Ravenous Kumquats to contest. I think Ravenous Kumquats' best hope at this point is Poppy ults the Sejuani out of the pit, and then steals Baron if they want to fight for it.
Yeah, you can really see on the side of Roll Swap their just general knowledge of great macro play, really getting those key objectives, knowing when they want to take a team fight. And you saw it in the first game as well, where you would see just like traditional laning into a couple picks into massive team fights, and it just erupts into a snowball effect.
Yeah, one thing that I've tried to use to guide my team's drafting is, this is based on experience, if your comp is much worse at team fighting than the enemy team, you're going to get beaten in team fights unless you're way ahead. So always drafting at least decent team fighting is a good idea because it gives you a fallback in case that you're not ahead early.
Yeah, we do see the Dragon coming up here as well. This is going to be a very big team fight on both sides. One looking to end the game, one looking to really push that Kog'Maw into a late game situation. And you see Roll Swap really chunking it down super fast, takes out this Dragon, and they're going to be large for this next fight with that additional damage now.
And they're going to go right to Baron. I think Ravenous Kumquats correctly recognized they can't really contest Dragon. The vision just totally belongs to Roll Swapped, so they give it up. But I think they should have tried to use that time to get vision around Baron, not start it, but get enough vision control that they could then seek to contest or try to steal the Baron. I'd also point out, Easy, switch to maxing Q second on Sejuani. I used to...
Oh, there's a re-engage. As soon as they saw Silas, they go immediately onto him, stopping the Baron, and then they're going to find a pick here. There is the stun from the Sejuani going down. The Kennen is going to be ulting away from the Renekton, who's going to be just chunking him down as well. You do see that engage. They're in that choke point once again. This is the place that Team Roll Swap love to be in. And they just take out the Renekton and are just going to be looking for those Nexus turrets.
Yeah, those tight confines are just so good for Sejuani, for Riven, for Kennen, because it means there's no escape from their damage in front of SEC. And I think Rollsop should be able to clear stuff. Historial is not yet strong enough to try to wave clear or to really chunk people down. He's getting some damage on the Riven.
He's a nice damage going out. The Riven just going to be using her stopwatch to stop the Kog'Maw damage. They do take out that turret as well. Good shielding from the Rakan, keeping the Riven alive. They're going to be re-engaging onto the Nami and the Kog'Maw. The Kog'Maw's trying to chip off whoever he can. He does take out the Rakan. He is going to be chipping for the Sejuani, but the Sejuani is too tanky. Takes out the turret. GG roll swap. Very well played. Very well executed. You really see just a great performance in macro coming in, just going to be cleaning up lane, cleaning up team fights, and then cleaning up the game. It was an incredible performance by Team Roll Swap there. You do see from Team Ravenous Kumquats trying to stay alive, trying to stay in that game, trying to stay with like late game Kog'Maw, but it's just not enough for the pure team fight potential coming out from Team Roll Swap.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
Phoenix, yeah. So sorry, I just want to transition to you as well to see what your thoughts on the game was, the series was, and into the MVP and Ace.
Yeah, I think that Ravenous Kumquats, I think, showed good adaptation from Game 1 to Game 2. But Rollswap just showed that they can play classic teamfight League of Legends really effectively, and that they have a lot of champions and a lot of ways to do it. So I think that this would be a good series for future teams that are going to play them to watch, to try to figure out, okay, we can't really ban out the teamfight picks. They just have enough of them. But which ones do we have to ban? Which ones do we think we can let through? And which ones do we think we can counter? And I think Ravenous Kumquats can probably take some good lessons from this series on when they want to pick certain champions and how they want to build comps around certain positions. For MVP and Ace, I think MVP has to be ZZ, because the mid lane looked pretty rough at first. They got the first blood onto Riven off of a good Poppy gank, and Renekton into Riven will snowball really hard if you let it, so they didn't let it. They put a lot of attention mid lane, got some kills on the Renekton, got Riven back into the game and doing the damage that she needed to. For Ace, I was really impressed with the Poppy from Shroom's Rewards. I had questions about the Hail of Blades. I still don't know how much it did ultimately, and I think that if you wanted domination for the minor runes, I think he could have gone Electrocute and still had a lot of good damage, because Poppy's combo will proc Electrocute really reliably, and things like Sudden Impact are really good on her. But I think he had very good ganks. His peel and engages were pretty solid. I think that he just sort of ran into an issue where Sylas and Renekton, as champions who need to be ahead, were not ahead. And Poppy, as a tank, has a really strong early but falls off late because she doesn't have the AoE CC and AoE initiation that other tanks do.
Yeah, very well said there, Phoenix. And when we come back, folks, we're going into another team from the Shuriman division, Vengeance Esports versus Anarchy Navy.